Worlds are waiting to be discovered by you. And it's never what you think it's going to be. And it's never what you're worrying about. And it's never what you're planning for. This morning, I awoke, as I have been, when it was still dark. This time I stayed awake though, and for the first time since I've been in Mexico, I went to the beach early before the sun came up, when the sky was still blue and gray and the beach empty. I got in the ocean and then went for a run. I love running barefoot on the beach. And I ran to the end, went swimming again, and then had this feeling like walking back. Like, do I want to run? Do I need to run? You know, is it about how far I run? Or listening to my body wants to walk. And so walking, finding shells, and from the end of the beach where I had ran to, I had looked back on all the houses and had looked at the houses and the ocean a lot when I was running, and noticed that most of the houses that are built into the hillside here along the beach have like thatch roofs. There's this one hotel that comes out almost in like an arc and looks comparatively very colonial and is bright blue and white. And I had noticed it and noted it. And then when I was walking back, I suddenly came around it to see the other side that I couldn't see because of the way it sloped from the end of the beach. And the other side was just like destroyed. It was like on the side further to the end of the beach, it looks like a hotel, and then you come around its arc and the other side is just like the frame, like looks like it's been destroyed by a storm or something. And I was like, oh wow, I'm going up there. So I turn and you can just tell that it's one of those places where just like people aren't anymore. Like nature is taking back over. There's vines growing through the, broken out windows. I'm going on just through all this vegetation to get up there, and there's like a wood ladder up to this patio or this balcony, this porch, this big porch area, and there's a beautiful bird there that jumps out. I don't know what kind, like maybe the size of an egret, but had coloring more like what I would think of like a woodpecker, like cream with lots of light brown tan kind of spots or splotches, but then a really long beak like an egret or a heron, and long legs, and that kind of family of bird, just majestic, and just stayed there with me as I came closer and closer, and stayed on the balcony and was there even after I climbed up this ladder. And I was like, it reminded me of a myth, or it was just a story of hers actually, in Sharon Blackie's book, If Women Rose Rooted. And it was about her like seeing this heron, and then she turns around and a woman's there who tells her all this, mystical knowledge. And then she turns back around and just a heron is there. And so I was like, are you going to turn into like a spirit guide or something? Or I guess just your being here signifies that to me. It was really special. And I got up there and it's like, you guys, it's like a deserted castle, like just looking out onto the ocean, overgrown with vegetation. As I got into the empty rooms that were still intact, each room had unbelievable come to life, enter a magical world graffiti and like characters, like amazing, that like art. I mean, it was the walls and rooms were alive with the stories of these characters and scenes depicted on the walls. And it was, you know, like it was a secret garden. Like it was an abandoned place that there had once been all this life and love. And then it's just me, like, barefoot, which I kind of wished I had shoes, but the more I walk barefoot, the more I find, you know, not that I don't hurt my feet sometimes, but generally when I'm mindful about how I walk, like, because I was walking over, you know, like broken ceramic everywhere, but as long as I placed my feet okay, it was fine. There wasn't a lot of broken glass. But like, also when I first got there and I came on the patio around to the part that was really crumbling and the part that from the beach just looked like it was basically like blown out, like blown up, just the frame left. And then there's the entryway, and there's just, so it's all empty, the entryway, there's just the frame, but then there's a spiral staircase leading up. I'm definitely going to be shooting some scenes there, taking photos. I ended up going up the spiral staircase. I was scared. Like, I went up it once and came back down, and that was when I went back, and then I went and saw the art in all the rooms, and then as I was coming back, I was like, I have to go up it, because there are rooms up there, and what if there's, like, I have to go up. And I could tell that at least one of the stairs was, like, very structurally unsound, which was a phrase that entered my mind as soon as I got up on that balcony and entered the building. I was like, structurally unsound comes to mind. Like, be very aware. So I did go up the spiral staircase to the second floor, and it was, none of the rooms had art in them. I got the feeling that maybe, like, people didn't really go up there. You can understand why. But it was just, I literally discovered a magical kingdom secret garden. And yes, I'm sure I was trespassing, because I'm just thinking, like, why are people not cleaning this up and just living here and making it into, like, a castle commune on the beach? Well, probably because someone owns the land and is gonna knock that down and build something else there. I wish not. It's such, like, magical bones, this place. And it was a hotel. I mean, I don't know if you gleaned that, but that was clearly what it was, with maybe, I don't know, like 15 or 20 rooms, not very many rooms. I mean, you know, the rooms all on the far side were blown out. I want to know, when was it built? What happened? And just the whole experience of, like, this is a literal magical thing happening in my life. Like, I'm actually in, you know, like a secret garden, like abandoned palace, castle, beach hotel, like, and also just all the stories that could take place there, and even just the feeling that there's a story in each room with these characters painted on the walls, and also imagining writing about that. And then, I mean, so just treasure. And I have 2 more weeks here. This is like one of the most magical places I've ever discovered, and I just wanted to remind you, places like this are hiding everywhere. Like, you don't know what's coming next. And I say this to remind myself, if I ever watch this video again, you know, like, even yesterday, going to the lavanderia to pick up my laundry, seeing a girl out in her yard surrounded by 7 or 8 cats, most of them adolescent kittens. We start talking, and then spend the rest of the afternoon and night together, and another friend joining us as well, Sarah and Olive. And so never planned that, never would have guessed that my day would turn into that. And granted, I have, again, the privilege of openness and freedom to see where the day takes me, often, at least parts of it, in this epoca, in this time. So never knew that was going to happen. But then also the fact of, like, spent a lot of the night, you know, discussing sort of people in one way or another being worried about plans working out and what was going to happen tonight. Happy full moon, everyone, by the way, and happy Virgo season. Sun season, as of today. So if it's Virgo sun season, ooh, so is the moon in think it's another Aquarius full moon. I'm pretty sure. But then Pisces, right? So I think it's Aquarius. But anyway, just spending a lot of the night, worrying about plans, about making a decision between two different options. And then literally when I return to Casa Frida esta mañana, I have a text saying that there's a totally different plan tonight and would I like to come? When I set out to go on that run this morning, I had no idea that I would end up in a magical abandoned hotel that is literally one of the coolest scenes, most dream real life scenes, as far as my dreams go, that I've ever entered into. And just remember, I've had videos like this before of whatever you're worrying about isn't going to happen, and whatever does happen is generally going to really surprise you. And maybe part of what needs to be said in that too is like, if you let it surprise you. Life always is anyway if you're paying attention. So it's not to say don't make plans, it's just to say like leave space where you can and prepare to be surprised with the new friends you meet, with the new magical places that present themselves, with the butterflies that fly overhead, with the iguanas that come say hello, with unexpected smiles, unexpected friends you run into on the beach. Also, then when I was walking back this morning and went to pick up my sarong where I had left it on the beach because I left it behind when I went running. On that note, just want to say how safe I feel here in this little beach community in Mexico. Like, I just want to note how safe I feel and let that be part of the narrative and the story of Mexico. Like, and, place and culture. This is one of the safest I've ever felt. So that's another thing, how many times have I heard, you're going to Mexico by yourself? Be careful, be careful, be careful. Thank you. Thank you for that. I just want my story to be heard as well, and note how safe I feel living here as, a 31-year-old woman. And I think that is really notable too because of all of these amazing discoveries I'm having, people I'm meeting, creative things that are getting done, things that only really can happen from a place of feeling safe. Like maybe that's even a notable part of what I am talking about in this story, and taking care of yourself in that way as much as you can, and noting where you can and do feel safe, because creativity, new discoveries, new relationships really can only happen from a state of openness, and in order to be open, we need to feel safe. So this honestly is one of the safest that I've ever felt, like in every way and in the largest way. I like to make little frames on the camera. It's like flirting with the frame. So I love you. Good luck with the magical worlds that you discover. I hope there aren't too many mosquitoes there like there are here. But I still love them. I still love mosquitoes, and I know that it's all part of a perfect balance. Buen día. Besitos y todo de mi amor.